Good morning. Here's my second video of a devotional, and today I was trying to think of a story that might have more validity in a time like this. And I was scrolling through some of my devotionals that I've written, and I saw one titled, While We Wait. Well, to me, that just hit exactly where we're at in these times, a lot of waiting. So let me tell you a couple stories that kind of got me on this line of thinking several years ago. We were living in Australia, and it was time for us to come home. Funds that we had raised and were using were reaching the time frame that was set for us to be there. So we had gone through, sold everything in our house, and had gotten rid of our cars, or at least I think we had planned where we were selling the last car to, but we needed it for one last trip. We had gotten out of our apartment and had even moved into a house with some friends, and one of the students that we had living with us even was with us as well. So we had parts of 3 families all under one roof. We get in our car, we pack up and head out to the outback. And the time we were going to be there, we were going to be living in a tent. And we're searching, looking for a place that we can move back to here in America. And I was just looking at my tent one morning, and I told Craig, look, we are homeless. We are living in a tent. That is all we have. And we have no hopes of where we're going to go. Even if we fly home, where are we going to fly to? Who is going to pick us up at the airport? Because we won't even have a car. We have no money to live on. Our kids all live all around America. So what are we going to do? So there was a lot of waiting. And I'm just going to leave you waiting for a few more minutes. Let's go back several more years. My husband and I decided we were going to quit our jobs, sell our house, and move to Lubbock, Texas, and go to the School of Preaching. And to do that, you have to raise support and have funds to live on, because the schooling is very strenuous and you spend a lot of hours for this 2-year time span. And we were waiting and waiting. Support wasn't coming in. Our house wasn't selling. What was going to be our plan? What were we going to do? So there, I'll leave you waiting for the answer on that one as well. Go back a few more years. Craig and I had found ourselves pregnant with our first child. We are very excited. I had picked a physician who did routine ultrasounds, which was not done back in that time. And I felt very privileged to have found a doctor that did that. He had us come in, he did an ultrasound and said, I want to do another one next month. No problem, I was enjoying the opportunity. So I go in again, and at that visit, he said, I think I want you to go over to the hospital and use their machinery, because theirs is a little more high tech and we can get some better scans that way. So later on that day, I went to the hospital. This technician comes in, and she does all this documentation while she's taking all these pictures and doesn't say anything. And I'm thinking, she's not my doctor, so she's just doing this job for him. She comes up to me and she says, listen, your doctor will be in a few minutes to go over everything with you. And she left me. There I was, waiting. We've all waited in doctors' offices, in the examination rooms, sometimes not even dressed. It's very uncomfortable waiting, but I was waiting. So I tell you those stories, and I want to read you a little bit of what I wrote, because I think it says it much better than what I can say. If I had told you we were having twins, but I thought that could have been one of the opportunities, things that might have come from the pregnancy, but it wasn't. Actually, we found out that we were going to lose that child. Or the funds for us to go to school. The ending of that story is it all came together. We received an offer on our house, and our house sold, and we received the funds that we needed to go through school, and we went through Sunset, and it was awesome. About coming back from Australia, obviously you know we made it back because I'm sitting here in beautiful Mineral Wells right now. But a job opening came. We moved to Lumberton, Texas, and we spent 5 wonderful years there. Okay, so now what I want to read. If I jump to the end of the stories, what would you remember? What lessons would you learn? It is in the waiting when the miracles happen. It is in the waiting that we learn to trust. It is in the waiting when we let go and give it to God. This is when we stop and notice the little bits of His handiwork sprinkled all through our lives. Many years ago, I put Christ on in baptism. I made a choice to follow Him with my life, with what I had been raised to do. But I wasn't told the rest of the story. I had no clue what my life would look like, how long I would live, or what joy and pain I would experience. And that's okay, because I've learned to live in the now. I have peace in the storms. I have more love and a heart for others because of the waiting with God through the pain and loss. I know this world is not my home, whether I'm in a tent or in a mansion on a hilltop. He will provide more for me than what the birds of the air have to eat or the beautiful flowers are clothed with. Today, God is with us in the victories and the losses. He moves the stones in the impossible moments. He holds His children when the bottom has fallen out. It's in the unknown times of waiting that He does His best stuff. So while you wait, sitting in your homes, not able to get out, while you wonder about your job, if it's still going to be there when you get to go back, while you are worried about the loved ones that have the coronavirus, while you're in pain over the loss of some people who have been touched by this awful virus, remember to look for the miraculous, and looking for the miraculous things only God can do is where we need to be. We are all waiting and wanting answers, but it's in these waiting moments that we can allow God to teach and show us something better, something miraculous that He can do in our lives. So I love you all, and I pray that this message touches you today and cheers your moments or helps you find peace in the times that you are struggling with right now. Love you all. Bye-bye.